Imagine this. You're finally drifting off to sleep, cozy in your bed. Perhaps after a long day enjoying your garden or spending time with loved ones. The house is quiet, and peace is settling in. Then, just as you're reaching that deep, restorative sleep, you're jolted awake, not by an alarm, but by that insistent, unmistakable urge to use the bathroom. Again. For many of us, this isn't just an occasional nuisance, it's a nightly ritual. Sometimes 2, 3, even 4 times a night. It disrupts our precious sleep, leaves us feeling groggy and tired the next day. And frankly, it's just plain frustrating. We tell ourselves it's just getting older. But what if I told you that waking up to pee at night isn't an inevitable part of aging for everyone? What if there were simple, gentle shifts you could make in your daily routine that could dramatically reduce, or even eliminate, those nighttime trips? The truth is, often, it's not just about your bladder getting weaker. It's about a few common habits that might be unknowingly contributing to the problem. In this video, we're going to uncover 6 powerful, yet easy-to-adopt habits that can help you reclaim your nights, enjoy uninterrupted sleep, and wake up feeling refreshed and energized. Get ready to discover a secret that will truly surprise you by the end of this video. So, let's dive right into the very first habit that can make a world of difference in your nightly bathroom visits. It's all about strategic fluid management. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Just drink less. Right. But it's a bit more nuanced than that. It's not about cutting back on your overall fluid intake, which is vital for your health, especially as we get older. It's about when and what you drink. Think of your body as a sophisticated timekeeper. During the day, it's designed to process liquids efficiently. Your kidneys are busy filtering, and your bladder is ready to store. But as evening approaches, your body's natural rhythm begins to slow down. Your kidneys start producing less urine, preparing you for a long stretch of sleep. However, if you're pouring liquids in right before bed, you're essentially overriding that natural slowdown, giving your kidneys extra work precisely when they're trying to wind down for the night. The key here is to front-load your fluid intake. Aim to drink the majority of your water and other healthy fluids earlier in the day. Picture yourself sipping water consistently from the moment you wake up through the late afternoon, by about 2 to 3 hours before you plan to go to bed. Start tapering off your fluid consumption. This doesn't mean cutting it off entirely if you're thirsty, but it does mean being mindful. Instead of that large glass of water right before you brush your teeth, try to finish your last significant drink an hour or 2 earlier. This gives your body ample time to process the liquid and for your bladder to empty naturally before you lie down for the night. Now, let's talk about what you drink. Because not all liquids are created equal when it comes to your bladder. Many of us enjoy a cup of tea or coffee in the evening, or perhaps a glass of wine or a beer to relax. And while these can be comforting, they are also what we call diuretics. Diuretics are substances that encourage your kidneys to produce more urine, meaning they make you pee more often. Caffeine, found in coffee, many teas, and even some sodas, is a powerful diuretic. Alcohol, too, acts as a diuretic, and it can also interfere with the quality of your sleep, making you more likely to wake up for other reasons, including the urge to use the bathroom. So, if you're struggling with nighttime urination, one of the most impactful changes you can make is to cut out or significantly reduce caffeinated and alcoholic beverages in the late afternoon and evening. This simple switch can make a profound difference. Imagine going to bed with a bladder that's already had a chance to empty, rather than one that's constantly being stimulated to produce more urine. It's like giving your body a head start on a peaceful night's rest. Think about shifting your afternoon tea to a decaffeinated herbal blend, or opting for a glass of water instead of that last beer. It's about being kind to your body's natural rhythms. Moving on to our second powerful habit, one that many people overlook but can be incredibly effective, especially if you notice swelling in your legs or ankles by the end of the day. This habit is all about managing fluid retention and redistribution, and it involves something as simple as elevating your legs or using compression stockings. You see, throughout the day, gravity is constantly pulling fluids downwards, particularly to your lower legs and feet. If you spend a lot of time sitting or standing, or If you have certain circulatory conditions, this fluid can accumulate, leading to swelling, or what we call edema. Now, during the day, this fluid mostly stays in your legs. But what happens when you lie down flat at night? Gravity's pull shifts. The fluid that has been pooling in your legs and ankles throughout the day now has an easier path to redistribute back into your bloodstream. Once it's back in your circulation, your kidneys, ever vigilant, detect this increase in fluid volume and dutifully start working to filter it out, producing more urine. And guess when this increased urine production peaks? Often, it's in the middle of the night, precisely when you're trying to sleep. So, how do we counter this natural process? By helping your body move that fluid before you go to bed. One of the simplest ways is to elevate your legs for a good hour or two before you plan to retire for the night. You can do this by lying on your couch with your feet propped up on a cushion or two, or even lying on your bed with your feet resting on a pillow. The goal is to get your legs above the level of your heart. This allows gravity to work in your favor, encouraging that pooled fluid to return to your circulation earlier in the evening. This gives your kidneys a chance to process and eliminate that excess fluid before you're tucked in for the night. Rather than waiting until you're deep in slumber, think of it as a preemptive strike against nighttime urination. Another excellent tool in this regard, especially if you experience persistent leg swelling, are compression stockings. These aren't just for serious medical conditions. Many over-the-counter options are available that provide gentle, graduated compression. They work by applying pressure to your legs, which helps to prevent fluid from pooling in the first place and encourages its return to your circulation throughout the day. By wearing them during your waking hours, you're effectively keeping that fluid moving and reducing the amount that will redistribute when you lie down. It's a bit like giving your legs a gentle hug that helps push things along. When you combine strategic fluid timing with giving your legs a little help, you're setting yourself up for a much more restful night. Now that we've discussed how to manage what you drink and how to handle fluid in your legs, let's move on to strengthening your body's internal control system. The next habit we're going to talk about might surprise some of you, but it's incredibly powerful for regaining control over your bladder. It's all about strengthening your pelvic floor. These muscles, often overlooked and rarely discussed in casual conversation, are absolutely crucial for bladder control. Think of your pelvic floor muscles as a hammock of support at the base of your pelvis, holding up your bladder, bowels, and, for women, your uterus. They play a vital role in keeping everything in place and, most importantly for our topic today, in controlling the flow of urine. As we age, just like any other muscle in our body, the pelvic floor muscles can weaken, childbirth, chronic straining from coughing or constipation, and even just the natural aging process can all contribute to this weakening. When these muscles aren't as strong as they used to be, it can lead to a feeling of urgency, or even small leaks, and certainly contributes to a reduced capacity to hold urine comfortably for extended periods, especially at night when you're deeply relaxed. The good news is, just like you can strengthen your arm or leg muscles, you can absolutely strengthen your pelvic floor muscles through specific exercises. These are commonly known as Kegel exercises. And before you dismiss them as something only for women, I want to emphasize that men also have pelvic floor muscles and can greatly benefit from strengthening them to improve bladder control. So, how do you do them? The first step is to identify the right muscles. Imagine you're trying to stop the flow of urine midstream, or you're trying to prevent yourself from passing gas. The muscles you tighten for those actions are your pelvic floor muscles. Be careful not to squeeze your buttocks, thighs, or abdominal muscles. It's a very internal, subtle squeeze once you've identified them. Practice a few times. You might feel a slight lift inside. Once you're sure you're engaging the correct muscles, here's how to do a set of Kegels. Start by squeezing and holding these muscles for a count of 3 to 5 seconds. Then, relax completely for the same amount of time. The relaxation is just as important as the contraction. Repeat this 10 to 15 times, aiming for 3 sets throughout the day. You can do these exercises anywhere, anytime while watching TV, sitting at your desk, waiting in line, or even lying in bed. No one will know you're doing them. Consistency is key here. It's not about doing them perfectly once, but doing them regularly, day in and day out, over a few weeks or months. you'll start to notice a significant difference in your ability to hold your urine for longer periods and feel less urgency, which translates directly into fewer nighttime trips to the bathroom. Think of it as empowering your bladder to hold its own, giving you back that precious uninterrupted sleep. Now, let's move on to our fourth habit, one that often doesn't immediately come to mind when we talk about nighttime urination, but it has a surprisingly direct impact keeping your bowels regular and avoiding constipation. You might wonder, what does my bowel health have to do with my bladder? Well, quite a lot. Actually, our bodies are incredibly interconnected, and the organs in your abdominal and pelvic area are no exception. Your bladder and your rectum, the end part of your large intestine where stool is stored before a bowel movement, are located very close to each other in your pelvis. When you are constipated, meaning you have infrequent or difficult bowel movements, the rectum can become quite full and distended with stool. This enlarged rectum can then press directly against your bladder. Imagine a full, unyielding balloon pushing against another, slightly softer balloon. That pressure reduces the amount of space your bladder has to expand and hold urine comfortably. So, even if your bladder isn't actually full, the pressure from a constipated bowel can send signals to your brain that mimic a full bladder, creating that urgent need to pee, often at inconvenient times, like in the middle of the night. Chronic constipation can also strain the very same pelvic floor muscles we just discussed, weakening them over time and making bladder control even more challenging. The good news is that addressing constipation is often within your control through some simple dietary and lifestyle adjustments. The cornerstone of regular bowel movements is adequate fiber intake. Think colorful fruits, plenty of vegetables, whole grains like oats, brown rice, and whole wheat bread, and legumes such as beans and lentils. These foods add bulk to your stool, making it softer and easier to pass. Aim for around 25-30 grams of fiber per day. But remember to increase your fiber intake gradually to avoid bloating or discomfort. Equally important is staying well hydrated. Water helps to soften the fiber, allowing it to work effectively. If you're eating plenty of fiber but not drinking enough water, you can actually make constipation worse. So, continue to sip water throughout the day, remembering our earlier advice about timing your intake towards the evening. Finally, regular physical activity plays a huge role in stimulating bowel movements. Even a gentle daily walk can help get things moving. Movement helps contract the muscles in your intestines, gently pushing waste along. So, combine a fiber-rich diet with plenty of water and some daily movement, and you'll be well on your way to more regular bowel habits. When your bowels are working smoothly, your bladder has the space and freedom it needs, significantly reducing those false alarms that wake you up at night. It's a wonderful example of how one small change can have a ripple effect throughout your entire system. Next, we'll dive into how your food choices throughout the day can impact your night. So, let's talk about our fifth crucial habit: mindful meal choices. It's not just about what you drink. What you eat, especially in the evening, can also play a significant role in how often you wake up to pee at night. Just as certain drinks can irritate your bladder, so too can certain foods. Think of your bladder as a sensitive organ, easily irritated by strong flavors or acidic compounds. Some common culprits that can act as bladder irritants include highly acidic foods like citrus fruits and juices. Think oranges, grapefruit, lemons, and tomatoes. Spicy foods, rich sauces, and even artificial sweeteners can also sometimes trigger an irritable bladder, leading to increased urgency and frequency, even when your bladder isn't truly full. While these foods might be perfectly healthy for you during the day, consuming them too close to bedtime can stimulate your bladder when it's trying to settle down for the night. Imagine trying to fall asleep while your bladder is constantly getting little nudges from your digestive system. It's not conducive to a restful night. The solution here isn't to eliminate these foods entirely from your diet, especially if you enjoy them and they provide valuable nutrients. Instead, it's about timing and moderation. Try to enjoy these potentially irritating foods earlier in the day. If you love a spicy curry, perhaps have it for lunch instead of dinner. If your evening routine includes a glass of orange juice, consider switching to water or a less acidic alternative in the hours leading up to bedtime. Beyond specific irritants, The sheer volume and type of food you consume in the evening can also play a part. Eating a very large meal close to bedtime means your digestive system is working hard while you're trying to sleep. This increased metabolic activity, combined with potential fluid content in the food, can contribute to urine production and bladder activity. Aim for lighter, easier to digest dinners, ideally a few hours before you plan to go to sleep. A heavy meal takes longer to digest, and your body will be busy processing it. Rather than settling into a deep, restful state, think of it as giving your whole system, including your bladder, a chance to wind down and relax before you hit the pillow. Focusing on gentle, natural foods and being mindful of those potential irritants can significantly reduce your bladder's nocturnal activity. And finally, we come to our sixth habit, which ties everything together, and might just be the surprising element I mentioned at the beginning. It's the importance of a consistent, calming pre-sleep routine and addressing the quality of your sleep as a whole. You might be thinking, how does sleep quality affect how much I pee? Well, it's quite profound. When you are in a deep, restorative sleep, your body naturally produces a hormone called antidiuretic hormone, or ADH. This hormone tells your kidneys to slow down urine production. It's your body's built-in mechanism for ensuring you can sleep for longer stretches without needing to get up. However, if your sleep is fragmented, light, or frequently interrupted by other factors, perhaps you're anxious, uncomfortable, or simply have an irregular sleep schedule, your body may not produce enough ADH, or your brain might not be receiving the signals effectively. This can lead to your kidneys producing more urine at night than they otherwise would, even if your fluid intake and bladder strength are optimal. Furthermore, when you're not sleeping deeply, even the slightest bladder sensation can wake you up. Whereas if you were in a profound slumber, your brain might easily ignore it until morning. So, establishing a consistent and calming pre-sleep routine isn't just about feeling relaxed. It's about signaling to your body that it's time to produce that essential ADH and enter deep sleep. This routine could involve a warm bath or shower, reading a book, listening to soothing music, or gentle stretching. The key is to create a predictable sequence of activities that tells your body, okay, it's time to wind down. Avoid stimulating activities like watching exciting TV shows, engaging in stressful conversations, or checking emails right before bed. These activities keep your brain alert and make it harder to transition into deep sleep. Consistency is also vital. Going to bed and waking up around the same time each day, even on weekends, helps regulate your body's internal clock, known as your circadian rhythm. A well-regulated circadian rhythm promotes better, deeper sleep, which in turn supports that optimal ADH production and a less irritable bladder at night. Imagine going to bed feeling genuinely ready for deep, uninterrupted rest, knowing your body is working with you to keep those bathroom trips at bay. It's a powerful feeling of control and well-being. So, there you have it, 6 simple, actionable habits that can dramatically change your nights and help you reclaim your sleep. We've talked about strategically timing your fluid intake, especially avoiding diuretics like caffeine and alcohol in the evening. We explored the benefits of elevating your legs before bed or wearing compression stockings to manage fluid redistribution. We discussed empowering your bladder through simple pelvic floor exercises. We uncovered the surprising link between regular bowel movements and bladder comfort, emphasizing the importance of fiber and hydration. We delved into mindful meal choices, guiding you to avoid bladder irritants and heavy meals late in the day. And finally, we highlighted the transformative power of a consistent, calming pre-sleep routine to foster deeper sleep and support your body's natural ability to reduce nighttime urine production. Remember, every small change you make in your daily routine can make a big difference to your health, your happiness, and most importantly, your quality of sleep. You don't have to overhaul everything at once. Pick 1 or 2 habits that resonate most with you and start there. Even a slight improvement in your sleep can have a ripple effect on your energy levels, mood, and overall well-being. You deserve those long stretches of uninterrupted sleep, and it's truly within your reach. I'd love to hear which of these habits you're going to try first, or if you have any other tip that have helped you, please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your insights can help others in our community too. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps our channel reach more people who can benefit from this information. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more practical tips and advice to help you live your best life at every age. Here's to many nights of peaceful, uninterrupted sleep. You truly deserve it.